Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, bot builders, depending on what time it is for you in the world where you are. I hope you're all having a lovely day, or a lovely evening, or morning, depending on the magic of time zones. You know how these things go. Hello, welcome to the Botpress Basics Office Hours. My name is Robert. I hope you're all having a lovely Tuesday or Wednesday. If you're new here, welcome. I'm happy to have you. These are the Botpress Basics Office Hours. These are for people that are new to Botpress, or perhaps just interested in the foundations, or maybe just a refresher, or maybe you just want to hang out and we're here to talk about some bot building. Listen, as you prefer. I'm not here to tell you how to spend your time. Hello, everyone. I've got a wonderful little kind of schedule planned for us today, so I think I'll take this opportunity to run you all through how I typically run these streams. I'll go for about 30 to 45 minutes today, and the plan for typically the way that I run these is I'll source some questions from our Discord server over the course of the last 7 or so days, basically from my previous live stream. See what you're all having questions about, see what's new in Botpress, and then maybe run you guys through like a little lesson, or perhaps, just troubleshoot some ideas together. Right off the top, I think one of the most important things to note here is these are live streams. They're meant to be interactive. So if you've got questions about bot building, please, I heavily encourage you to ask them. Don't be worried about derailing me. In fact, derailing me is the purpose of these live streams. We're here to build together. So I hope you all take advantage of that and take advantage of the time that we have together. Don't be shy. Ask your questions. You are never, ever, ever interrupting me. All right, with that out of the way, I'll share what's going on over here, and we'll dive right in for today. I've got a couple of different things that I want to talk about today, so we'll dive right in. First of all, you should all be familiar with the new dashboard. I hope that you've all been enjoying it. I've been seeing that Chris has been spending a lot of time talking to all of you, and you've all been floating things about the new dashboard, feedback, good, maybe some things that we could do better. So I want to say I really appreciate all of your feedback. It's really great. One of the best things about working at Botpress is that the feedback loop is so tight. It makes it really easy to do my job, and then it also makes it easier for all of you, hopefully, to build bots even better than you could yesterday. And that's what we're looking for. Question from Jason: how can we use Botpress with an alternative UI like Streamlit's chat front end? If it's not possible, can we somehow hack the V1 UI to make it full screen width? Jason, great questions. There are a couple of different ways that I'm going to go about answering this. The first is, have you gone through all of the video tutorials that we have on YouTube about like embedding a chatbot inside a div on a web page, making a chatbot the full page, so on and so forth? There's a couple of pieces of documentation about this. I'm not going to say that this isn't technically like a custom front end. It's kind of the layer before that. So you're just customizing the UI or the chat UI that we provide you. So that's kind of like the easiest way to go about doing that. There's a few different ways to like make the thing full width, the chat window full width, embedding it inside its own page. So have you given those a try? Has that crossed your path yet? Yeah, so the style sheet's not going to let you adjust the width in the way that you want. So I'm going to say take a look at our YouTube channel. There's videos for embedding a chatbot inside a div, which will allow you to make the chatbot like customize the width of it as you prefer inside a web page. Otherwise, give that a try, because I think that might be the easiest way to go about doing what you're doing, and get back to us then. The alternative answer is, and I think this is perhaps outside of the remit or the scope of this stream, but you can just embed a Botpress bot inside of whatever it is that you're doing using our SDK. However, that will require knowledge or coding knowledge or programming knowledge that I assume is outside of the realm of most of the people that attend these streams. But of course, I could be wrong. Everything is, variable. And as Decay's linked you with a thread there. DXD asks, so Jason, you'll find information about the SDK in our documentation, which we're actively trying to improve as we speak. So these are all related elements. If I have a node, and that node I save some text written by a user, is there a way to check if the text is not bad? Bad meaning something like in quotes. In my case, I have a node where I ask a user the food that they like, allergens it has, and so on. How can I let the user to not write some random string or anything like that? Okay, DXD, you ask a good question. I think it will require telling your bot what you think is good or what is an expected response. Let's jump right in to one of the examples that I have prepared for today, because I think that's going to touch on this. One of the examples that I'd like to capture, that I'd like to talk about today, is capturing multiple variables. If you were present on last week's live stream, we had a great question right towards the end, so I didn't have time to answer it, about using the AI task to capture multiple variables. DXD, I think I'm going to touch on your question while I answer that. I think they kind of go nicely together, so sit tight and we'll talk about that there. And then I have a treat for all of you at the end of today's live stream. I have a nice little bot that was made by someone in the community. You might all be familiar with DevMick, kind of a rock star in the Botpress community. Built a great bot about recommending YouTube videos, searching for trending YouTube videos on a given topic. Looks great, so we'll play around with that at the end. For now, let's talk about capturing variables. So as I've done before, I think, there we go. As I've done before, what I'm going to do is I'll show you the finished product, and then we'll talk about how we built it or how we got there. So we'll kind of recreate the finished product together. If the studio would, do its thing and open up. Alrighty, so let's take a gander. You can see here, I'll just call this node AI task. I've got 3 different variables I want to capture. I want to capture the name of a person, I want to capture their age, and I want to capture a meal, something they've ordered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this AI task to capture all of them. So let's test this out together, and then we'll go from there. I'll say, hi, I'm bleep bloop. I'm this many years old, and I'd like to order a black coffee. And then it's going to spit that answer back to me. So it's we see correctly, I'm this many years old, my name is bleep bloop, cool, and today I'm ordering black coffee. So just to show you guys a couple of things, you see I'm using this text card to spit out these variables, and you can see the value of the variables are stored here. These are just some other test variables from other tests that I was running. So if you are the person who is asking about using the AI task to capture multiple variables, this is how I would go about setting it up. But let's recreate it from scratch now just to make sure that it's working. So the first thing we would want to do, and I'll just call this node AI task test. First thing, of course, that we want to do is we want to allow our user to know that we're going to ask them for some information. We want some information from them. So I'm going to say, what did I say up here? What's your name? How old are you? What's your name? How old are you? And what would you like to order? There are a couple of different caveats that I'm sure if you're watching this, you're kind of wondering like, hey, I might not be provided all these variables, or I might be provided variables that are not here. We'll touch on that at the end. But currently, all I want to do is be very prescriptive about what I'm looking for. So name, age, and order, and we'll place that here. We're going to save that in a variable that I've called basic info. You could use the event.preview to capture the user's most recent message, but I like to store things in variables in case I need them later. That's a personal preference thing. It depends on, how your brain works, and we're all different. Everybody's bot building style is different. Sometimes I import bots that all of you guys have built, and it's really exciting to see. And sometimes I see the way that some of you build bots, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe I never thought to do it this way. And sometimes I open bots up and I'm like, this is absolutely shocking. But those things always makes me laugh, makes me happy to see. It makes me happy to see the different ways that all of you build bots, and there's always something to learn. Okay, I've rambled enough. Let us continue back on to our AI task. So essentially what we want to have done here is we want this AI task to scrape or extract from the person's answer to this question various pieces of information. So of course, I want to know their age, I want to know their name, and I want to know their order. We can tell our AI task to do this. So previously, if you wanted to save a couple of different variables, not previously, you were always able to do this, but the kind of most rudimentary way to do this would be to have different capture cards for each one. Indeed, 15 years ago, that's how bots were expected to work, and that's why kind of chatbots have a bad reputation, is they weren't able to kind of extract information. But we can do that very easily now. So let's take a look at how I would set up this AI task. First thing we need to do is the instructions. So I'll copy and paste the ones that I have from the previous node, and we'll investigate this together. So you'll see here, the first thing I've written down is I've given my bot or my AI task some context. I've told it it's a waiter at a restaurant. It expects people to tell me what they'll be ordering and what they'll be eating for their meal, as well as their age. From the input, So in this case, I'm saying whatever the user gives you, whatever input I'm telling you to look through, extract their name, their age, and their meal, and then save those separate pieces of information to the appropriate variable. So you can think of this as like the step in ChatGPT where you're telling it what to do. This is kind of what you're looking at here. This is what these instructions are for. And then the input is kind of the information it has access to. You can think of this in your mind, if you're unfamiliar with using the AI task card, as being like you telling a student, for example, like read this book and look for these things. So I've got questions for you, I've got a task for you, and I've also given you a piece of information, like a book, for example. So the AI task input in this case is going to be very simply workflow.basicinfo. Remember, this is where the user has given their information. And we'll save the information in multiple variables. So we've got workflow name, workflow age, and workflow email. One thing I want you to note here is the AI task we expect you to use the AI task to save multiple variables. In fact, that's kind of one of the main benefits of it. Otherwise, it would just be simpler to use a capture card. But if you want to avoid being stuck in a situation where you're asking your user like 5 different steps or needing 10 different conversation turns to save that many variables, we expect you to use the AI task here because it's going to make your conversation appear smoother and more human-like, of course. All right, so that's what's going on here. We've got name, we've got age, we've got meal, and so we'll be saving these things. And then finally, this is just for debugging or testing, but I'm going to place all of my variables in a text card here at the end, just to show that we've done this correctly, that the thing has happened correctly. Sorry, not email. Workflow name, workflow age, workflow meal. There we go. All right. We have a question in chat. When Botpress is connected to Facebook, it sometimes misbehaves by not providing the output or skipping some output, especially ones that require GPT-4 AI task. I wonder. So Kryto, you ask an interesting question. I wonder if this is a problem on the probably the Facebook, the meta side of things, as we might say. I assume you're using either WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. So if you're running it through GPT-4 and then the AI task is powered by GPT-4, my suspicion here, and I could be wrong, but my suspicion here is that because the output of those tasks are usually a bit longer, there's some kind of timeout or delay that's happening. So can you verify if it doesn't happen with GPT 3.5, and if the same thing is occurring, then we know that something else has gone on. My request to you is, can you post in the help channel, maybe with some, if you've run these tests, what the results of those are? Yeah, meta services, meta verification policy being very strict. I mean, like ManyChat or LineChat, in order to provide easier integration with these services, we're investigating whether this is going to be useful for our customers, our partners, etc. One of the things about meta verification is that it's quite easy if you're an established business. So if you are, in fact, like getting Botpress verified was quite simple because we are an established business. And so we're just investigating whether or not this is going to be a useful thing for us. So currently we are, we are examining this, but I can't make any promises at the moment. Okay, let us continue. Let us do the meat and potatoes of this, and we can give this all a test. Dum-da-da-dum. Workflow meal. Click digital. The thing is, I can't like. If you've changed nothing, then in theory nothing should have changed. But the way that these models work is like their performance will change over time, and without seeing the answers in front of me, I can't explain why that would have happened. So maybe if you could provide some more details, like what kind of answers was it providing previously and what kind of answers is it providing now? It's really difficult to diagnose issues with kind of like a subjective, it's good and it's bad, because those mean very different things to different people. So if you have maybe some examples of like the same question being asked over the course of a couple of different weeks and then that changing, that would make it really a lot easier to kind of diagnose these issues. Okay, I'm Soup Stew. I'm 99 years old and I want a lasagna. I would love a lasagna right now. Okay, of course, we have an error. I mean, were you using Hebrew before? Was it providing good answers in Hebrew before and it's not now? That's my question. Okay, does this one still work? And then we verify and we debug together and we try different things and we go on. And I'll just try the same input. Yeah, okay, so this one still works. So what is it that I've done here? Bum, bum, bum. We have a temperature setting. Was it that? All the KB is in English, that is translated to Hebrew with the translator agent. But Click Digital, was that the case also, like when you're talking about your answers are changing? A few weeks ago, has anything changed at all, or was that always the same? Bum, bum, bum. Maybe try adding a task example. It always works for me. I mean, my question double A is like this, the exact same task up here is working. And so I wonder what the difference is. Anyways. It was perfect for a few days. I mean, that's the expected behavior, is that it works, but who can say? Both GPT-3 and GPT-4 always skip the reply on Facebook. That's weird. I mean, I don't, obviously that shouldn't be happening. When you say GPT-3 and GPT-4, are you talking about like all our knowledge queries? Does the personality agent successfully rewrite messages? Because those will use GPT, of course. So Kraito, Kakashi, is your bot able to rewrite messages using a personality agent, for example? Are you able to execute code? Is it specifically the GPT API tasks that are failing? All right, let us continue. I think I'm going to leave this AI task alone for now. It seems to dislike what it is that I'm doing. But if you are the person who was asking about using the AI task to capture multiple variables, this is how I would do it. And of course, you can just interchange name, age, and meal with whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever task it is that you'd like to do. I'm going to also show the other method, because I think if in general chat earlier, I was talking about showing multiple methods for doing this. This one's a little more prescriptive, and this one allows you to be maybe more specific about what it is that you're doing. All right. So it's specifically the AI task that is disagreeing with you. So when you're running into the, so knowledge-based queries, task rewriting, that kind of thing, those things all work with the exception of the AI task. Have I gotten that down correctly? Yeah. Okay. Then in that case, do share that. You mentioned a demo video earlier. Do share some of that information. That would be really helpful. And take a look. The AI task is kind of she's a mysterious beast, I will say. All right, we continue onwards. So the key for capturing multiple variables, if you don't want to use an AI task, like I was just demonstrating, if you want to be a bit more prescriptive to your user, and you kind of just want to make it sound a bit more, like if you want to make your bot a bit more functional, you would use this task or this function. Yeah, do post and help, I think, is probably the ideal thing there. And so that's extracting from history. So in this case, your bot just has the ability to look through X number of previous messages that your user has sent and extract some pieces of information. So I think a lot of you don't often navigate into advanced configuration, as I don't either. But I would say there's a lot of good stuff hiding in here. So in one case, extract from history is one of them. This will tell you, this will allow your bot to look at X number of previous messages that your user has sent, where you set the number X. So if you're expecting to receive like 100 different messages or 5 different messages or 10 different messages, you can have your bot look through all of them, extract some information from those messages, and save it to variables for later. That's also a useful trick or tidbit piece of information for all of you looking to maybe be a bit more prescriptive about how you're capturing information from variables. That's what I would recommend. And if you're watching the recording of this later on YouTube, hi, welcome, come to a live stream sometime. It's, we have great fun. All right, the last thing I want to show for today's live stream is a very exciting bot that I saw this morning. This is a very nice bot that was built by a member of our community, a rock star here. You might all be familiar with DevMick, but let's take a gander at this together nonetheless. So often when we talk about Botpress bots, I love to see different use cases for them. I love to see what you've all built. In particular, I like to see ones that use the execute code card, because the execute code card is kind of the thing that's like, all right, you've built a bot and you want to make it better than, a lot of you are freelancers and agencies, so you want to make it better than your competitors' bots. You want to maybe have a little secret sauce. And I think the execute code card is like the foundation of that secret sauce. And I say that because this is what allows your bot to do very custom actions that you describe yourself. So in other words, this bot, for instance, takes your keyword or whatever it is, like a topic you're looking for, finds trending videos, and then just spits them back out at you, lets you know what YouTube videos are trending about a certain topic in a certain area. What do I mean by this? Well, let's just test it out, and then we can play around with it for ourselves. Will Botpress add more LLMs for our bots soon? I'm going to say maybe. I'm not going to say soon, because typically we do not commit to timelines in the startup space. But Click Digital, I know that using different models is something you've all asked for. So I hear you, and I've listened to you, and I will make no further promises than that. Oh, you can see that I was playing around with this earlier. But here, let's try this again. No, you are the best. Okay, so here we go. The bot's here. Please provide the keyword you would like to use to search for trending videos on YouTube. I'll use the same keyword I did before, which is Final Fantasy 14. If you know, you know. And then it's just going to spit some back out at me in a carousel. And this is really beautiful. I just love to see a really simple use case like this. We'll dive into the code a bit later, but this is what I wanted to show off. Dev Mick, thank you for building this. Bat Pendle asks, I'm the owner and I added a member as either a viewer or billing, but they can access the studio and modify the bot, and I, the owner, get this message in my studio. Okay, so you've given them the appropriate role, access control, where they won't be able to access bots, but they're still able to access the studio? Is that what you are telling me? Because the message that you copy and pasted here, that's just the usual lockout, the one that shows you you can't make changes because someone else is already editing your bot. And then here we have just a couple of videos that I would love to watch. Final Fantasy, good stuff. And I love to see use cases like this for bots for a couple of things. One, because it's really simple, and two, because it shows you bots don't all need to be customer service. They can do a couple of different things. Here we have a really good example of a web scraper that you popped into a bot, and so now that becomes a bit more conversational. Let's take a look at this together. So here, it's a dead simple bot. It's just 2 nodes, 4 cards, really nice. We've got a question. This is where the bot is asking me, what is it that you care about today? What is it you want to learn more about? Maybe watch on YouTube. And then finally, the meat and potatoes of this is the execute code card. So one of the things I want to note is the execute code card. If you click this icon here, we'll just pull up the code for you. You don't have to click into it. Beautiful, nice. And so let's take a look at this together. If you are not, one thing I want to say off the bat is, if you are not if you're not a programmer, if you don't have development experience, I've got 2 things for you. The first is Botpress can generate code for you here using just a GPT-powered code generator. So if you're looking for something and you want to say scrape YouTube videos for X topic, this will just generate some basic code for you, really simple. If you're doing something a bit more specific that will require things like making API calls, as we see down here, we're using a Netlify app, then you'll have to customize it a little bit. But if you're at that point, I would expect that you know what to do. But the point is, it's a really great starting point. Or alternatively, you can just ask ChatGPT to generate the code for you and then pop it in here. I do that very often. I think we all do, or really any code generator you like. So let's take a look at what happens here in this code. Okay, Matt, and just to confirm, you've given the viewer view-only access, but they still have access in the studio. I'll just test this again later on my end and see if I can verify that this is actually happening, and we can take a gander at that. So all that's happening here is that my bot, or in this case, I guess DevMix bot, is asking for a topic, scraping some information from the web, packaging that information, getting that information into a presentable state, and then sending it back to my bot. So the idea here is this one's just for YouTube videos, but that kind of basic workflow of scrape information, repackage or clean up information, and then provide information back to user, that's a dead simple workflow that I think is very reproducible for a lot of different use cases. So a lot of this is just commented out because it's telling you what the code is actually doing. Here we're actually making the API call, so this is how I know we're using a Netlify app that I believe DevMik has built themselves. We're saving this information, we're logging this information, and then we're saving it back to a carousel card. So it's a dead simple use case, but I think the reason I wanted to show it off on today's live stream was because the basic workflow of like scrape information, repackage it, clean it up, and then send it back to your users, well, that's something that many of you have asked about. It's something that is like kind of at the core of Botpress is like, I want to recommend products. It's the same thing. Scrape, clean, show off. DevMik is indeed an artist. I couldn't agree more. I loved it. I woke up this morning and I saw this, and it was it's always a delight to see good stuff. Actually, one thing I want to mention here is you can find this yourself. The bot file is available for this on our Discord server. We have a channel on the server called Share Your Bots, where you can share things that you're proud of, bots that you've built already. We're in the process of giving you the ability to share these on your profiles in the studio. But for now, please go ahead and share them on the Discord server. Yeah, Matt, I agree. I think that's the expected behavior. So it sounds like something has gone wrong here. Do you know when the custom dashboard for agencies and freelancers, by dashboard, do you mean like a profile? Ramon, what do you mean in terms of dashboard? And then while I'm here, we'll pop back to those carousel cards and just take a look at how they're done. These are just very simple JavaScript information, pulling information from that array. And you can see that we've replaced 0, 1, and 2 here because it's telling you to make images or carousel cards based on the first, second, and third results. White labeling. We don't support white labeling in Botpress. I don't know what you mean by white labeling here. White labeling to me means reselling the Botpress platform as your own branded piece of software. One last question, Click Digital asks, is there a way to give the client a place that they can see all their chatbots history, like an inbox platform? Well, the expected behavior here, Click Digital, that we're expecting people to do is allow their people you've built a bot for to see their conversations here. So for example, like these are conversations that I've had. You'll see this is the one that I just had on this bot. So Click Digital, you can see that in the conversations tab in a certain bot. So you get to this tab by, I'm in my homepage, I go to my bot, I check in conversations, and I can see all the conversations my bot has had. In this case, it's just 2. This might be from last week's live stream, actually. Can I take it with iframe to another host? Currently, no. I would be curious to know, like, what your, why would you like to do that? Is that because you don't want your user to log into Botpress? What's the use case for that? Because currently, I think most people are happy to just poke around and see their conversations directly from within Botpress. You'll all have to stop saying like other companies and explain to me like what it is that you're looking for. Would be a lot more helpful. I don't know what Voice Glow is. I think you mean a different company, which I will not name on this live stream. We want a separate platform. Click Digital, why would you like a separate platform? Like, what is the I'm assuming you're talking about like on behalf of freelancers or agencies or clients, you want to send them to a separate place. And the question I have is like, why? Yeah, how to make it easier for clients. I mean, interesting. Most people are happy to just look at the conversations tab here. If logging into Botpress is too much of a difficulty for your clients, that's not ideal. But the reason we don't support white labeling is because we want to make it clear that you're selling Botpress bots to your clients, and all of the features that you're asking for are available within the Botpress platform. So there's no need to navigate to another service. And the kind of philosophy on our end is if you're sending them to a separate place where they can see conversations, then now we have both Botpress and a third party in the mix, which to my mind actually makes it more difficult for your users to kind of navigate through these services. So I'm thinking on behalf of someone like on my end who purchases software for my team and stuff. And if I can have everything directly within one platform, I much prefer that. I see. So it can be a good idea to make a portal for those clients to only see this inbox. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I think a client portal is definitely something we can work with. Click Digital, this is a great idea. Can you pop this in our feature request channel? Maybe provide some of this information. It would be really helpful for us to see it. Also, this goes for all of you in the audience, or if you're watching the recording later. If you've got things you want to see on Botpress, do just let us know in the feature requests channel. We live on there, so I can't promise, of course, that everything will get built, but we like to see how you're all using the platform. Credo, I'm not pronouncing that right, says connect the Botpress inbox with real-time messaging API like Slack or Botpress V1 inbox repo, but you need to build that by yourself. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the alternative is like most things you could just build by yourself because Botpress API is so flexible. So there's definitely things you can do on the external builder side of things that will achieve this. But I suspect that a lot of you are looking for like very simple ways. Particularly if you're like attending this live stream, I suspect that most of you are not interested in like building extensively on top of Botpress. However, I could be totally wrong, and maybe you'll all surprise me, as you all often do. All right, so we are reaching the end of today's live stream because I've got very excitingly, actually, I want to share with all of you that we're bringing on interns for the summer, so I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm bringing this up to all of you because you might be seeing some friendly new faces on our live streams throughout the summer. Maybe I'll bring on some of the more extroverted interns to be, an on-camera personality with me. Or maybe I'll continue to be like Kelly Clarkson and run the show solo. Who can say? Let's go indeed. But in any case, I've got to go meet with some of these. So I want to say, if any of you have any final questions, now let me know. I've got a few more minutes left. So if you've got any questions, speak now or forever hold your bot building peace, as we say. Soren Etler asks, for a knowledge base, I want the bot to search on a specific website, and I want to include a domain but exclude a subdomain. This should be an automated search and not pre-stored websites because the information changes very often. The bot takes old responses from outdated blog posts. Soren Etler, my question to you is, if the bot is taking old responses from outdated blog posts, are those blog posts still live on your website? Are they still published, let's say? Yes, under the subdomain. So like blog.example.com. I mean, as a best practice in general, if something is outdated, I would just remove it from my website, but I understand you'll have reasons not to. Are you using a search the web knowledge base, or are you using a different format of knowledge base? So we've got two options. We've got website and we've got search the web. Which one are you using? Okay, so you are using search the web, good. And are you aware of this feature? So the part that's like, on which websites should we search on, the entire web except these websites? So you can exclude some domains this way. Have you tested this out? I'm not sure if it would work with subdomains. Please do a video on custom triggers. What would you like to see about custom triggers? What's kind of the use case? Do you want just like a general overview of them? I see several people are typing. That always alarms me. That always makes me feel like I've done something inflammatory. Yes, but if I include one website, I can't exclude all the subdomains, including one domain, includes all subdomains. Yeah, that's kind of the reason for a subdomain. That's the reason that the subdomain exists. Soren Etler, I'm going to say try this one. Try searching the entire web, excluding that specific subdomain, and go from there. DXD, to answer your question, yes, I completely forgot. Thank you for reminding me. Let's dive right in. And first, let's log in. and then we can do this together. Dum-dum-dum. All right. So if what you want is to capture certain pieces of information, but you expect a certain type of response. So it's a difficult situation because your bot doesn't really have a good way of knowing what a good response is. So the first thing you can do is, if you're using a specific type of variable, like a capture card, but you're looking, say, for an email, these by default will look for an email. And if your user doesn't provide an email address, it won't capture anything. Raw input is going to capture everything no matter what, and it won't consider anything a failure. So for categories that are predetermined like this in the capture information part, you could easily do what you're doing, and Botpress does this by default. If you're doing something like allergens where we don't have a predetermined choice for you, my suggestion to you would be to actually do the first thing. The reason I brought this up earlier was because the first thing that I demonstrated in today's live stream using the AI task is exactly what you're looking for. So what I would do is I would capture the information here using a raw input card, and then I would run it through an AI task, and I would tell my AI task, like, extract allergens from the user's input, or extract like X piece of information. If it doesn't find anything, then the value of that variable will be empty. And if the value of that variable is empty, you can send your user to another node that says like, hey, you didn't do what I wanted. So like, if the variable allergens is empty or has no value. And then this, I mean, there's no allergens variable at the moment, but the idea here is like, if the variable has no value, send them here, and this is where you tell them like, actually, you didn't include the information. And if the AI task was successful, if it was able to extract that information, then in that case, you could just continue sending them along. I did this, but I have 10 nodes, for example, will take too much time for a response. I mean, it's kind of a trade-off, right? It's like there really isn't a better way to do this because you have to teach I mean, there might be, but you have to teach your bot what a good answer looks like or not. But the AI task, if you're using GPT 3.5, it shouldn't be particularly slow. So give it a shot and let me know if it's too slow for you. Soren says the results could be from anywhere, not only from my website. Yeah, they could be from the entire web. Then you could try excluding stuff like Google or Wikipedia, kind of the usual suspects. I would give that a try first. It also depends on how much information about your website is out there. So like there's a lot of information about Botpress out there on a lot of different websites, but if you're running a pretty niche business, then perhaps not. I will share when the bot is over. May I tag you to look it up? Yeah, sure. I can't guarantee that I'll answer, but do post in the help channel, because if I don't answer, usually someone else will. We're about like 20,000 people in here, so, you know, a lot of people going on. All right, Soren, and also, Soren, let me know how you get on with this. Try excluding stuff like Google and Wikipedia and like, I don't know, the Encyclopedia Britannica, and going from there, maybe Bing too. And let me know how you get on with that. And do also post in help, Soren, as well. Let me know how you get on with those testing. If nobody else has any other questions, thank you all for showing up to today's live stream. I really appreciate it. I enjoy our time together as always. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your week. I hope you all enjoy the sunshine if that's happening where you are. Otherwise, the April showers. Have a great Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on time zones. This video should be on YouTube. Yeah, you'll be able to find the recordings there. I hope you all have a great rest of your days or weeks. I'll see you all at Patrick's stream on Thursdays. Bye, everyone. Happy bot building.